Health is a state of body and mind. Wellness is a state of being. We want you to have both. This is Channels of Health, the podcast giving you ideas and insights into new and time-tested avenues to health. From mental wellness and innovations in mental health to our daily lives and overall health journeys. Join your hosts, Patty and Damien, both founders of organizations dedicated to healing, as they bring candid conversations and new information to you. Let's start the show. Here are your hosts, Patty and Damien.
Good morning. Thank you so much for coming to join us today, Wapayeye. We are here with Channels of Health with Wapayeye and Damien.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. You drove in for an hour to get here today. I know you said that you do that frequently, but we appreciate you. Let's just get started and talk about who you are and what you do, Wapayeye.
Like I said, my name is Wapayeye. I am from Congo, Kinshasa. I live in Dallas. I am a case worker working at MetroCare agency.
So for people who are not familiar with what MetroCare does and what they are, could you talk a little bit about that?
MetroCare is an agency. The mission is to help people with mental illness. And we receive different people. They can be low income or people with high education, low education, but everybody, they have mental illness.
So you help people in all walks of life,
Yes.
regardless of income, regardless
Yes.
of skin color,
Yes.
regardless of culture.
Yes.
You help a lot of people who are new to the United States, from what I understand. You help a lot of immigrant people.
Yeah, but MetroCare, the majority, they are American people.
Okay.
Black, white, Mexican. And we have a few people from Africa, from my agency, because MetroCare has many offices, many clinics in Dallas. But in my clinic, I have a few people from Africa. They need mental assistance, therapy, or they need medications to be stable.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you work primarily with a few specific diagnoses, right?
Yes, I have several people, but we focus on the three mental diagnoses. You have depression, bipolar, and schizophrenia.
And then inside of those three main diagnoses or disorders, you also help with people who have the additional issue of anger management.
Yeah, because about anger management, if somebody is depressed or is bipolar or schizophrenic, most of the time people say, I have anger problem. And if they recognize they have anger problem and they need help, they come to see us, especially me, to do anger management. And anger management, it is a program with 12 sessions, and it can be one session by week, according to how people they move on slowly, or fast, according to self-evaluation.
Can I ask a follow-up question? People suffering from these three main areas, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, is anger, does that typically accompany people with those diagnoses? Is there an anger issue?
Most of the time.
Okay, I
yes.
didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Interesting.
Because when you will ask them what is the causes, what do you think that make you depressed? and some people will go back to their family issues. Some can go to job issues, financial problems. Everybody has its problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anger goes with them.
Got it. So anger shows up
Yes.
pretty much wherever you
Yes,
go.
Yes. Yeah. But like I said to them, anger is no problem.
Yeah.
It is the way you handle that. Everybody can be angry.
It's okay to be angry.
Yeah. But the way you express that, it become problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a skill that I guess a lot of people, if they grew up in a difficult environment, that's a skill that a lot of people didn't observe, a lot of people didn't learn, and now they're adults. Some of the folks I know that I work with that share in this space, their lives are really made much more difficult from the anger than the actual issue that they're struggling with. Like depression is bad enough as it is, but the anger seems to be like a force multiplier that makes it so much harder. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. Because I think that, like I said in the beginning, everybody can be angry.
Yeah.
But the way you express that, you can say something, for instance, say, oh, you're African. My way, I will say, I am, because I am proud of that. I have to say I am African.
Right.
Somebody will say, why do you say that? And the question of why, most of the time, will create problems.
Right. So the answer to your question.
Why? Why? If I begin, why did you say that? But if I say, okay, Daniel, what do you mean by that? Can you explain to me?
Right. Right.
Yes, this is different. But if I process negatively, I will say, why do you say that?
Right.
And we start to escalate.
You start looking for a problem almost.
Yes.
Is that,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is beautiful, and I think the whole concept of anger management communicates that, because to Wapayeye's point, we're not saying anger dissolution or anger removal, because we're not pretending that anger is a problem, but to manage the anger is the issue, to have the skills around that. So is there some specialty training? Because from what I know of your background, you are a specialist in helping people get through that. You're the go-to guy when people come in with anger
They
issues.
come with anger issues, we discuss about mostly every week.
Yeah.
So
And
what kind of
I
training?
always said to the people, anger is not a problem.
Right.
Everybody can be angry, and if you are Christian, you can see the history of Jesus in
Right.
church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flip some tables.
Yes, do that. But anger is no problem.
Right.
But the way you express that
Yeah.
become problem.
Yeah. Just the other day, Ronan, my son that Patty knows, he's 6 years old. He went running through the house and he smashed his toe into the table. And
Yes.
you could hear it in the other room. It was one of those.
Yeah, that hurts
Yeah.
just to hear the story.
And the anger that filled him.
Yeah.
And this was just last week. I was telling him that you should be angry. That is
Right.
an appropriate response to smashing your foot, man.
Yes.
But he genuinely seemed worried that he had gotten so mad. And I'm like, no, I think you should be mad when you almost break your toe.
Yes.
So it's cute when you can see a little kid wonders if I should even get angry at all, even from a physical injury.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, buddy. you
Yeah,
gotta see
run with
mad.
it. Yeah, go with
Yes.
that emotion. That's
You
a
can
good
have
one.
a few minutes to be as angry as you want, man.
So
Yes.
what you're saying, Wapaye, is it's really the coping mechanism. So do you want to talk a little bit about, because I mean, we're all
Yes.
sitting here saying it's cool to be angry,
Yes,
but we're not giving anybody the answers for anger
Yes.
management.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about your curriculum that you developed. Is this your original curriculum, or did
Yes, this is what
Okay.
I use mostly every week, every month, do that.
do you want to talk a little bit
Yes.
about those steps?
Yes,
Would you want to
yes,
walk? Do you
yes.
need to be looking
Like
at this?
Daniel he mentioned, something is there too.
Yeah.
So let's walk through some of the steps, how you go through the homework. You start with your clients. Do you refer to them as clients? Is that the right term?
Yeah, I use individuals.
Okay.
I use plant, but I don't use patients.
Right,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. Okay, so when you're working with somebody, when you're working with an individual who comes to you with anger issues,
Uh-huh.
walk us through what you do.
Yes. We go, I will tell them, we will use this program, and this program has 12 sessions.
Okay,
And today we will begin the first session. Yeah.
and can you describe any of the work that you do to them? with
The
them?
first session, we do overview. Everybody will give his opinion about anger. Like I give my opinion.
Sure.
And Daniel will say, no, it is a problem. You talk about your
Oh,
son.
right,
Yes.
yeah.
Everybody has to give his own perception, concept of anger.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And from there, we know that, okay, Patty think like this about anger, and Daniel think like this, me, I think like this, because everybody is different. My reality of anger is not yours.
Yeah.
Now, we have the beginning, the first session, we talk in general about anger. Some can say, okay, I grow up with anger. And I will say, we will talk about that because we talk about anger in family somewhere.
Gotcha.
Somebody will say, oh, no, I saw my mom all life angry. It is no problem. I say, okay, we will talk about family.
Yeah.
How did you see that when you grow up in family?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the second session, it is events and sign of anger. Events here, it is the meaning, it is the causes of anger.
Oh, okay.
Like when you give example of your son, I will ask you, did you ask him the causes that push him to do that? It is that, the causes, because the anger is effect.
Yeah.
The causes, we have to find that.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretend for a minute you were talking to Ronan,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yes.
Well, he's holding his foot.
Yeah,
Yes,
and,
yes.
and so he's going through the physical pain.
Yes.
And then he's going through the emotional, I shouldn't feel this anger on top of the physical pain. So you would ask Ronan what caused you to feel anger? Or what caused you to be mad?
To acknowledge it, or
You have to know for this moment what make you angry. And each person will say, it is not something new. I grew up with that because I never see my mom,
Right.
because I never see my father, because I saw my father did this. This is about the family. And some people will say, I don't have money. I lost my job. I am divorced. There is many causes that push people. And the more we talk about, even if you are not conscious today, but next time, next session, you will find out, my real cause is this. And the session 2, we don't talk only about causes, but we talk about the sign of anger.
Okay.
Yeah, the sign of anger, we mentioned 4 that sign is very important for somebody who say, I am angry. I will ask you, I say, okay, when you are angry, how do you feel about physically, your body? How do you express that?
Restricted and tight,
Okay.
Chest. Yeah.
Yes. And the same question if I ask Patty, he has her way that when she is angry, physically, how do you manifest that? How do you feel that?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And what are you trying to get to when you're asking those questions? What's it going to tell you if Damien starts to describe his physical sense of tightness in the chest and getting all restricted,
Yeah.
and then I say, oh, I feel my ears burning, my
Yeah.
my face is turning
I
red.
talk about me, everybody. Me, when I am angry, physically, the tone of my voice change.
Ah, okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
And naturally, I laugh. I like to smile.
Right.
But when I am angry, I will tell you that, Daniel, even if I am laughing, don't touch that. I have to do that.
I might be smiling, but I'm angry.
Yes. And some people, they can move their legs,
Yes.
they physically. Okay, and emotionally, how do you feel about? This is about emotion. But people can say, oh, me, I feel that humiliated. I feel that afraid. I think that I am very angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is emotion. Okay, because you feel that they humiliate you. Okay, this is your reality. Me, I feel that they disrespect me.
Right.
That's why I'm angry.
Right.
But he will express airway. Okay, this is about emotion. Now there is another sign about we call cognitive sign. It means in your mind, what do you say to yourself? Self-talk.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
like,
When you are mad, what do you say to
Oh,
yourself?
boy. That's
you should see Damien's face right now.
hide behind this here.
Okay, yeah, D, too late, sorry.
Wapayeye is no longer welcome in this podcast. No, it's true. That inner
Wapayeye's
that
doing
inner
voodoo on you.
dialogue is scary.
Yes.
What it reveals.
Yes.
No.
Yes, but that's why in process of anger management, we would say, okay, because you have negative self-talk, you will go to an anger problem. You will manifest that. You will slam the door. You will punch somebody because you process negatively. Now the way to stop that, use positive self-talk. Give yourself the good qualities you can have, you can imagine.
Yeah. The best mental diet you
Yes.
can of that moment.
Yeah, it is that. Positive self-talk, you will stop your anger. Negative self-talk, you will
Feed
escalate.
your anger.
Yes.
It's so
feed-
true.
Yeah.
So true.
So does that lead into the aggression cycle?
Yes, it is what I said. If you go by negative self-talk, you will reach this. It means 3 steps: escalation, explosion, and post-explosion. Those, yes, the 3
Yeah.
things for the cycle.
Okay.
Escalation, explosion,
Yep.
and post-explosion. Now, with all consequences. Because if I cannot control you now, I will say, Patty, I will call police because me, I cannot handle that. Donc, all
yeah.
consequences.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donc, it is that the way we move. Donc, we go to cycle, it is that.
Is there a time when you're working with someone where you could just look at them and see that they're just not going to hear? This is interesting when you're working with angry people. I don't know if they're angry in the moment
Yes.
when you're working with them,
Yeah.
but people that need help with anger tend to be able to get angry fairly easy. Do you ever have somebody just get angry while you're talking to them about anger management?
Yes. yes. Yes.
I mean, that
yes.
seems...
Yes.
People can't see your face, but
Yeah,
I mean, you had this like,
they do that. Yes. they do that. Yeah.
Sometimes they weren't when they came in, but
Yeah. Sometimes, if it is first meeting like now, I always pay attention to your system. How do you believe?
Yeah.
Belief system.
Yeah.
And some people, they feel that you cannot say something about, like I said, Jesus was
Sure.
okay, angry, manifest his anger in church, but in the session, I will not say that the first session.
Right.
Because
yeah.
I don't know how mentally you see,
Sure.
you see
how you see
Jesus.
the world and
yeah,
what you
yes,
believe.
yes.
Yeah.
I have one case like this. Somebody was very mad. He said, "Oh, don't talk about my Lord like that." I say, no, I want to talk about my Lord too, because He's mine
Yeah,
too.
and it's in the book. Making this up, man.
Yeah.
This is not fiction.
Yes, it is that.
Yeah.
Even if in the session, I can, if I do group, and sometimes you become mad, very hard to control everybody because they start to
How
fight.
big of a group do you work with? I mean, is it 3, 5?
Me, most of the time, I go by 5.
5, yeah.
For that, I can control that.
Right.
When it is many, more than 5, sometimes I cannot
You
control.
got to bring a referee
Yeah,
in with you.
yes, yeah.
Do you work with children? Do you ever work with kids, teenagers?
I did it for kids long time ago.
Okay.
For some, because my nature, I am direct. I like to direct.
Yeah.
I found that it's good to go with adults.
So some folks who have experienced anger problems for a while, they seem to appreciate directness a little bit more. I have so many questions, but I don't want to jump off of what.
Yes.
Are you good? Or did you
I'm
have some
good.
other-
No, I'm good, Damien.
Okay.
We're good. Because I just want to be sure that on the time that we're being
That's
careful
what
and
I was
that we can get
Yes,
through
no
if we
problem.
have a hard stop. So I just
Right.
wanted to.
So being mindful of your time, one of the things I was going to ask you is, this is going to seem like it's off topic, but it's not. How does someone such as yourself get to the place where you basically have dedicated your life to help people with anger? Like, I'm super curious. So my day job, so to speak, is a documentary filmmaker. I'm always interviewing people. The whole time you're talking, I watch your whole being just glows when you're talking about your work.
Yeah.
You know, I know because of a good idea of where you live, you drive at least an hour every day so you can go help people with anger. Now, I'm not trying to make you just feel good. I'm saying this for the listeners. I'd like to ask that question you were talking about that's sometimes difficult. Why? Like, I would like to know your why. How did you get to a place where you're so knowledgeable, and I love walking through this, but I have to ask. You've lived around the world. How did you get to this place where you're dedicated to walking in a room full of strangers and helping them manage anger? That's just fascinating.
That are mad as hell.
I mean, yeah, and then they're going to tell you to go to hell at some point, you know, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. First, I study counseling, community counseling.
Okay.
I went to Texas A&M University to do master in community counseling.
Okay.
Before I came here, I was living in Belgium. I did the psychology there, and I work with immigrant people. They came to live in Belgium, and they have their problems. And my African background, I grew up in a small city. And people, they drink, they smoke, cannabis, and it is not, you will not see the police, they say, oh, don't do this, don't let people smoke, drink, okay.
Right.
And sometimes from my small town, the grandfather, the grandmother will tell us, you have choice, yourself. Since you are young, they say, you have choice. They show you, for instance, they say, look, Patty, she didn't do this, she's like she is today.
Right.
Look at this person who did this, used the cannabis, alcohol, it is that. And like I said last time to Patty, that in my traditional beliefs, we say always that alcohol and all the illicit drugs are winners.
Are what?
Winners.
Winners.
Yes.
Okay.
Even if you are physical big, tall like you,
Oh, I got you.
they will win.
It will win.
Even if they will take 2 years, 4 years, they go slowly.
It'll get you.
But they will catch you. You will be sick, or you will be in prison. You will have problems.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And you witnessed this when you were
Yeah, I
growing
saw
up
that. I grew up with that.
in the small town. where you
Small
took-
town,
yeah.
I saw that. And it means it was the families, they have been the same time police, social workers. The family, they play all the role of that.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is not police will come to tell you, don't do that. But the families and the people that live in the small town, they talk about. And they show you the people. They use the alcohol, they use the drugs, or the people that like problem, they finish.
Got it.
Yeah. And from that, when I came here, I said to myself, okay, what I can do for that I can stay in the same field I was doing in Belgium. And I went to community counseling. And from school, one of my teachers recommended me to Metro Care. And I started there.
What I think is also interesting, since you're talking about community counseling right now, talk a little bit about what that is, how it is different from what some people know of as straightforward psychology. You have an ability to help people with a lot of other subjects that the average psychologist who would be accepting their insurance, for example, if they had resources, wouldn't have to help them with. So you have additional skills over and above anger management and over and above dealing with these other mental health concerns. You actually help people with daily activity because you can't really separate the fact that some of these people don't have money. Talk about the populations that
most population I deserve every day, they have low income. They don't have money. Some they don't have insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, they don't have. And they come to MetroCare for help. And me as a community counselor, we see each person as all complete. Donc, chaque individual has his own problem. And we don't see person, well, because you have mental illness, you need only medication. No. Or because you are depressed, you need counseling. No. We have to see person as well with whole package, big picture. Yeah. Okay. And we have people that came, they are depressed because they don't have, they are homeless.
Be pretty depressing.
Yes, depressed. Because he lost his job, because he's divorced, because he lost his mama. And we have to see each person according to his own problems. I don't imagine the problems. It is the person they have to present their own problem.
I see.
Yeah. And in my case, I do counseling, community counseling. I do housing assistance for the people that are homeless. I refer them to the housing program. For the people they don't have insurance, we ask them for medical insurance. We work with Parkland for that they can have Parkland Plus. It is insurance for the physical problem. But for mental problem, Texas has insurance for the people that come to MetroCare. Okay. They have NEBA, they call this NEBA. It is insurance for mental illness for the people that live in Texas.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Okay. When they come, they go to business office, and the business office open their case to ask insurance. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the idea there? I know it sounds really obvious. But is the idea, if your focus is to help people manage anger, I guess it's really hard to apply any of these things that you're teaching them if they're still homeless and still don't have the most basic essentials.
Exact.
Okay.
Exact. That's why we cannot say, oh, we talk only about anger.
Yeah.
We talk about the issues that they are causing anger.
Whole.
Yes, whole package. Yeah. Because some people, the homeless people, most of the time we work with organization. They have shelters or Dallas housing program. They have a program for low income housing. and we refer people to some people in Dallas. They have apartment complex, but for people they've been in prison, they call it second chance.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
For that they can live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've worked with a lot with a friend of ours named Sherry, who's actually how we met, works with that community and some of the second chance housing. They used to call them halfway houses. And you remember that? I don't know if you remember. But
No.
They used to call them halfway houses. And I'd go and I would volunteer at these places, and everybody felt insulted by this idea.
Yes.
Like, I'm half out. What is this?
Yes.
You know? So I
Yes.
love the new terminology and the work that takes place in some of these housing. It's so cool because it's not just housing. They will also provide
Yes.
counseling. They
Yes.
will provide like food counseling,
Yes.
like how
Yes.
to eat, how
Yes.
to. It's the whole. I love what you said. It's the full package of
full
a
package,
person,
yes.
not this one little
No,
piece.
no.
Check the box.
Yeah.
We're good.
That's why at there where I work, we have different people with different specialties.
Okay.
You have social workers, we have medical doctor. Like now, people, they can come because they have pain in their feet. They go to see medical doctor, family doctor,
Right.
in the same clinic.
Oh, how cool.
Yes, because people think, oh, when they say metro care, say, oh, it is for crazy people.
Right.
It is not that.
Right.
It is not that. And they come, they will see Dr. Patty for family.
Through the whole facility.
Yes.
See.
And it is that. It is not, we don't see only mental illness.
I love it.
That's really very important because I think people who have had, especially chronic diagnosis, they
Yeah.
get known as their disease.
Oh, man.
And we've talked about that before. We don't want the person to be called an anorexic, or we
Yes.
don't want the person to be called a bipolar.
Yes.
identify.
Yes.
They're
Exactly.
bigger than their diagnosis. And to your point, you're looking at them as the person first.
Yes.
And
We put the
only
person
you're
in
looking at it
center.
back through the other side of the lens,
Yes,
as
yes.
opposed to looking at it through the vision of the disease
Yes,
primarily.
exact.
And I think a lot of that has to do with your culture and how you were raised.
Yeah, because we see people as, if I will use the term that the people from church use most of the time. They say you are the temple of God.
Right.
But in my language, we say we are the house.
Right.
House,
Yeah.
because house is common for everybody.
Right. Everyone's got one.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That me, you, Patty, you are the house of God. And if they say me, for instance, I am the house of who is the president here now?
President Biden.
Biden. Would they say this house Biden is living there? When you go inside, even if you don't go inside the house, you can imagine how it is inside.
Right.
It is bad. The house that Biden is living.
Yeah, that's not a bad house.
Wow,
Right.
it is not.
Right.
I love now in our conception, traditional conception, if you are the house of God, inside should be good.
I love it.
Right.
I
It is
absolutely
that.
love it.
Yeah.
It is that.
Yeah.
And it is what I say to my people. If you are the house of God, think about what you put in your mouth. Think about what is coming from your mouth, because you are the house of God. So God is good. Okay, if you are the house of God, do your best to see that alcohol or cannabis cannot come to the house of God. It is only that. And when people will see that, okay, myself, I am the house of God, according to our beliefs in where I am from,
Right.
God is not in sky.
Right. Yeah.
Donc, you are working with God every day.
Always.
Because
There
you are
you
the
go,
house.
yes.
The body is the house, and God is with you. You work with God.
Yeah.
And when I see people, they come to my job to talk, I see the same way with my eyes that they are the house of God. And if they are angry today, there is a cause that it is that.
No doubt.
And because they stay a long time with anger, anger will create physical problems. That's why most of the time I refer them to physical doctor, medical doctor. Because when you stay a long time with anger,
Absolutely.
it will have physical problems.
It dries the bones.
Yes,
The Bible
yes,
literally
yes,
says it dries
yes,
the bones.
Yes. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes.
You have mentioned alcohol and cannabis, and I know that was a part, when you started bringing this up, you were mentioning it when you were growing up. In your daily work, it seems like that's a staple of people that you're dealing with anger. Are you connecting alcohol, cannabis, the way people used to escape things with anger issues?
Yeah, because like I said in the beginning, I ask most of the time, what do you think that make you angry? Yourself. You have to identify the causes of your own anger.
It's got to be you. Yeah.
And you will talk, okay, because my father, because most of the time when you are not, you don't want to take responsibilities, we blame others. But anger program or the diagnosis is to help people to
Take
start to
responsibility
take
of
their responsibilities.
Gotcha. So using anything to escape your responsibility is only prolonging
you
the
can.
problem.
That's why the session can take 2 weeks for somebody, one session, or 3 weeks, because we want that the person can move from blaming others to taking responsibilities.
And then they're empowered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fascinating also the cultural side, which is something we always bring out in any podcast. You take something like alcohol. I don't really drink. I used to, but you take alcohol in a different setting in the Catholic Church or in the churches I grew up. I was a minister for a long time, and my parents were. That was a way from communion. You know, it was a way to connect.
Yes.
Right.
Used the exact same drink used in a different way is a way to disconnect.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
so the meaning making put around these things. And the reason
Yes.
I wanted to ask was not to in any way argue your point of alcohol or cannabis. I wanted to draw light to when you're in a state of anger, a prolonged state, you're an intuitive dude. So I know you already know I grew up around a ton of anger, right? So
Yes.
you're talking and I'm like, oh, he knows my parents. He knows my life. This guy, yeah, we used to hang out. So it's fascinating to me, the meaning making that comes with anger. You were talking about it in the beginning. Like somebody can just say something.
Yes.
I have the ability to define what they mean.
Yes.
That is a God-given gift that no other animal has. Like you could literally, I have seen people take massive beatings and insults and be like, oh, thanks, man. And everyone's like, I don't think he got our point. No,
Yeah.
He transmuted it. He changed your intention.
Exactly.
And I wanted to kind of end, if it's all right, with that. With you're in many ways, you're in the front line of adults who have experienced prolonged anger through their whole life. So they're already having physical manifestations.
Yes.
I know family, I know that there's a lot of the standard causes, but what do you think we can teach? I'm going to tie this back to children for a second. What can we teach children that will keep them from getting to this place where they are so ravaged by anger? They don't even remember what they're angry. I mean, you have to run into people that don't even remember what they're angry about anymore. What do we teach kids at a young age, before they're even teenagers, to stop that trajectory if they're wrong?
Yeah, most of the time when I was working with kids, the first thing I said, like I said in the beginning, everybody can be angry.
Right.
They say, oh, okay. And I say, Joe, but the way you express your anger make me feel bad. The way you express. Now they will ask me, how do you want me to express anger?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, and now I go back to, what do you have in your mind to express your anger now?
I love it.
the question to help the young to process themselves. Okay, every time I express my anger because in my mind I said that you don't respect me. Okay, now go to opposite.
Yeah, flip it.
Yeah, change.
So that was your story earlier when somebody says to you where you're from, you can either consider it an insult, like, why are you asking me that?
Yes.
Or you can say, yes, I'm from Africa. I'm
Yes.
proud of my
Yes.
country.
Yes.
And so that's how the kids
Exactly.
can learn how to respond.
Yes. I talk about me, like you said, most of the time when my own experience at my job, I have at my job, they give me people that are white, black, Mexican, and a few people from Africa. And they go to clinic and they say, Daniel, okay, your helper, his name is Wapayeye. They look, for instance, the name. They say, oh la la, I don't know how to say this name.
They're already angry.
Yes.
Even your name. You're so angry.
Yes,
I love
yeah.
it. You're the perfect guy for the job.
Yeah, and they will call me. The first thing they say, I don't know how to say your name. I am sure you are not from here, but I don't know why they give me your it's not like that.
I know you're not from here.
I say yes. If you say my name correctly, 3, 4, 7 times, it will calm you down.
Yeah, it's a mantra now.
It'll calm you down.
Why, baby? I love it. You've got people all over the world just rocking back and forth saying your name.
And once I say, okay, I want to see you, we'll talk about it.
That would do it for me.
Yes,
All right, I gotta
yeah.
see this.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah.
I love it.
It's a coping mechanism. Just say my name.
Yes, and we have some people, they will say, oh, you know, when they give me my name, your name, and I say, okay, I call, I don't call. But when I saw you, I say, what this African will say to me? And when you start to talk, I like you, I say, okay, this is about prejudice you
Yes.
have. Myself, I have that. I have.
Yeah, we all do.
I have my prejudice, but we have to do our best to control our prejudice because it is in you, in me, in everybody.
For sure.
Yeah, but you have to. That's why I say that to the kids. Most of the time, you say, "You are the house of God, young men. You are the house of God." Okay, they teach you God is good. Be good. And because most of the time, according to our beliefs, we believe that good and God do the same.
Same. Oh, absolutely. It's beautiful.
And that's why we have to do good.
Yeah. There's also an inherent problem of people who it's out of the question that they would get to travel. Like the things that you've seen from the places you've lived and the places you've visited addressed a lot of the prejudice for you. And you still will have some, like you said.
Yes.
But a lot of people have never even left the state of Texas. And the perspective, they see an African name and it's just like this disconnect.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
It's fascinating to me. I know this is not revelation to anyone, but it's fascinating that grown adults are still surprised to find out that we're all one, just from different parts of the planet. Like I'm still amazed that that's something that dawns on people once they get to know you. Like they have to get past the pronunciation of a name, and then they're like, "Oh, you're not so bad." Like that's. I don't want to make this question about prejudice, but there seems to be a connection of just a misunderstanding of God's general design. When I'm around people that are just so angry, there is a misalignment that God is good. I think that's forgotten, and people start feeling like maybe God isn't so good. Maybe God is out to get me, and that starts feeding some of that anger. And it becomes really toxic. It's that yeast that spreads really fast.
this most of the time when I do 3-4 sessions and I start to know my people,
Sure.
I change. I will not say God is good. I don't say that. When
That's your gateway drug. God
yes,
is good.
when I say God is good to be together, to share our understanding about God is good. But when I move more, we go to session 7, I start to know you, I will say, Daniel, God, what make you think that God is good?
You.
Because
You told me.
yes.
I learned that back in
Yes.
session 3.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute.
Yes. Because I say, what make you think that God is good? If God is good, if God is powerful, if God is omnipresent, why you don't help you to stop drinking?
If you believe that, then-
If you believe that, why?
yeah.
And now you will say, yeah. I said, because every time I ask you, when the last time did you drink alcohol? You say, yesterday. When the last time did you use cannabis? You say, I am with you 3 months. I am seeing you 3 months. We talk about cannabis, the consequences, but you continue to smoke, to drink.
Right.
And at the same time, you tell me that God is good, is powerful.
There's a misalignment.
Yeah, here's the problem.
I think you're identifying the misalignment I was asking about. for
And
sure.
this point, I pray I will present my God. I say, your God is not working.
Hey, I understand that. I understand.
Yeah. And the God I believe is like this table. Is like this building does not move. It's like this building, I can come next year, it will be there.
gonna be there.
God does not move.
Right.
It is yourself, you have to adjust
Yeah.
to God.
Right.
It is yourself, you have to move to say, because God is good, He's there, but me, I am doing the stuff that the qualities that are not the same. I have to go to God for that.
Yeah.
I can be like in French, when you have one metal, you put like this, it take
The magnetic.
magnet. Yes, God is like that. Because it's like a stone, the more you go close to that, you will.
So so he's
That's
making
in the
he's
design.
making gestures which people can't
Yes.
see.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's describe.
Magnetic.
So
Yes.
you're saying that God is magnetic.
Yes.
And when your God is not working, you're too far away. But as you move close to
Close.
God,
Yes.
God is a magnet and will draw you
Yes,
in.
it is that
Yes.
stronger.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you become one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is that.
Yeah.
But if you say that God will move because He is powerful, because
Coming
He
to
is
you.
no, He will not.
Yeah.
He will not.
And I find that concept interesting too. I love another way of looking at it is if the heart and the mind are not in alignment, nothing's going to work. So
Yes.
what you believe about the world, but how you're living in your heart, if those aren't
Exactly.
aligned,
Yes.
So for our listeners that aren't Christians and aren't raised the way we were, it's still the same principle. If you're saying the universe is good or everything's good, but you're running from it
Yeah.
constantly,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
All right. So my son smashes his toe. He's screaming. He's yelling. I'm going, come here, and he takes off running through the yard.
Yes.
There's not a whole lot I can do.
Exact.
Is that a good example?
Yes. Example. Yes.
So go get mad.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's running
Yes.
around the
Yes.
yard
Yeah.
screaming
Yes.
and yelling.
Yes.
But when he comes back, I can help him.
Yes.
I'll even yell for him to come back, and but there seems to be this running that comes with anger. There's this fear. I've never seen anger and fear not coexist. I've never seen anger without fear. It's
They
a
go
driving
together.
force.
Yes.
So how do you help on the fear side?
Most of the time, I have my sentence. I say to my people, fear is enemy of progress.
That's the truth.
See that I say in the beginning, fear, you say bad things about me because maybe fear.
Yeah.
Huh? You don't want to see African black men close your house because of fear.
But yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah. And I said to my son, because we live like I told you, I live. Every time he comes to see me, the police, in the village, the Josephine, they stop him.
Oh, yes.
Every time.
You shouldn't be in this town. What are you doing here?
Yeah, look. And I told him, okay, because he still have the hair. Huh? He has hair. And he's big, tall.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he's. And the first, I said to him, okay, the police, they stop you, obey. Because most of the time they will say, we saw black men tall first, and that's why I protect myself.
Right.
Yeah. And he said, why they stop me every time? I said, maybe they are afraid. They want to know. He said, no, I don't want counseling here. I don't want to give me counseling here. I want to know why only me. I said, you hair.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, they look like, some African there.
The dreads? Or...
Like Bob Marley.
Yeah, the long dreads.
Yeah, dreadlocks.
Yeah.
But his is natural.
So your son has long hair on top of being a very big man.
Yes.
How old is your son?
20.
He's in his 20s. Okay.
Yeah, they're scared.
Yeah, they're scared.
What's fear?
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Wapayeye son, they're scared. Yeah,
Yes, I say, do you hair? When they see you coming, they say, oh, this black man with big Mercedes, driving big Mercedes, he's coming here. What is he coming to do?
Yeah.
Okay. But if they stop you again, say only, I go to Wapayeye house. Say that.
Yeah.
I say, why? I say, no, say that. Say only, I go to Wapayeye house. He's my father. I go, and they will have habits to see you.
They'll start learning. Oh, that's that guy.
Yeah, it's what they will learn.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, I will try that. I say that. Because when they ask you, you say, you answer most of the time, okay, why do you ask me? What I did wrong? No, don't do that.
He's coming back with that defensive.
Yeah, their question.
Yeah.
I said, don't do that. And he changed the language. That's why I said, I can be angry the way you talk to me.
Right.
And I process negatively. And my son, when police stop him and start to talk, he processes in his mind, what you want? Me? Why? Why me?
Right.
And he became mad. I said, no, change now the language. When they will stop you again, they ask you where I'm going, you say nicely, I go to see my father, the African black man who lives there. Say that. Because they know.
They know you.
Yeah.
It's a
And
small
there's
enough
only,
town.
2 police in the entire city, so it shouldn't take long.
I say, because they saw you. Because he's not black. Huh?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like Obama. Huh?
Yeah, he's not the American version of black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's mixed. Huh?
He's mixed race. Yeah. Yeah, he's not got all black.
Yeah, yeah. And I said to him, because my people, they where I work, they told me when they see the police, see the black man with a big car, Mercedes car, or they think that it's dealer or that stuff like that, they have a prejudice about.
Sure.
And I told him, okay, when they see you driving your big car, they don't know you are an engineer. They don't know all that. Okay, they see one black man with this, and the way you talk to them, you make them mad. But change the language. You will see they will become your friend. Say only, I got to see my father here. Me, I live in Plano. And you will see that when you start to come, they will not.
They'll leave you alone.
And now he come, they don't.
They don't even stop him
No,
now.
they see him somewhere. Hey,
They wave at him.
Yeah.
Darn it, Dad, you were right again.
Yes. It is, that's why I said the language we use can make somebody feel good or feel bad. The language we use. Donc the causes of anger can be the language, the way we talk. That's what I said most of the time to my people. I say, okay, if you feel, when you process, you know that you will say something that is bad, say to yourself, no, I stay quiet. And you call your name, positive self-talk, you say, no, I am better than that. That's it. It is about how to control anger. And what I always advise is positive self-talk.
That's the key.
Yes. Self-talk, but positive. You give yourself all qualities you give God. Give yourself.
That's great.
Yeah, all qualities. If you think that God is good, you are good. If you think God is generous, you are generous. If God is peace, you are peace. And you have to give yourself that by saying to yourself the good things, the positive things, for that you can calm yourself down.
Yeah, I've noticed in the last couple of years what sticks with me when I lose it and I get really angry, it's not what made me angry, it's what I said and what I thought that has so much damage afterwards. For me, myself.
What make us angry, it is not what Patty would say to me. It is how I process what Patty said to me.
The meaning making.
The meaning.
Yeah.
I give to what she said to me.
Right. You're right.
The meanings.
Yeah.
And if the meaning is positive, I say, oh, she's nice, she's no problem. But if the meaning is negative, I say, why she said that to me?
And you'll think about it forever.
Yeah, like I said, when you use most of the time why, you go to escalation. But if you want to have a peace, you have good understanding, can you tell me what you mean by that? The what is good, the why will say,
That's the quick escalation.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And where we go by to the cycle of anger, escalation, explosion, post-explosion.
Yep. And that post-explosion seems to last the longest out of the three stages.
Yes.
It is the longest. You
Yes.
feel gross.
Yes.
You feel horrible
Yes.
because of everything that
Yes.
you thought. And then if you say it and you give birth to these thoughts,
Yes.
and you speak it,
Yes.
the power of good and evil is in the tongue. And so when you choose that, even if it's in a moment and it's just a rage, you have to live with the things that you said.
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of people understand how over time that builds up and begins to accuse you. Like the words that you speak against people, my parents are always like, don't talk negatively to people because it's going to do damage. Well, what does that mean to a kid? What I didn't understand is when I'm saying these things, over the next week, I now hurt over the things that I said. Because I don't have the ability to just like harden my heart and be like...
And it hurt you too.
It
You
does.
hurt the people you talk to and to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. This is there where in counseling, where anger management, I talk about forgiveness. I say, okay, forgiveness, it is not for the people you talk badly about them. No, it is for yourself first. Because if, like now, we are now talking and I say bad things to you and I make you mad, and me, I leave. I go. I say bye, I go. And if I have to go to a cliff, I go to a cliff. If I want to go to Central Market, I go there, I stay. I eat my soup. And you stay here angry. And me, I left. I go to my life.
You're sipping soup.
Yeah. But the problem is, you stay here angry and you destroy yourself.
So true.
Uh-huh.
So true.
And what you have to use, the key you have to use is to forgive me. Because when you forgive me, you forgive yourself. And you release your anger. You say, oh, this African, what he said, it's no problem. according to my life. You forgive yourself, you release your anger, and you move on. But if you don't use forgiveness for yourself, you will stay anger, you have anger, you have anger, you have anger, and after that, you have physical problems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that's why I say use forgiveness. It is for yourself.
It's powerful.
It is not for people you hurt. It is not, no, for yourself.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to teach.
There's some
Yeah.
intense counseling going on
I love
over here,
it.
ladies and
But
gentlemen.
It's so good. I mean,
It is.
the clarity, because a lot of people are not raised the way you were. You know, a lot of people are just left to pick this stuff up as they go.
Yes.
You know, by
Yes.
observation. And so what you hear is forgiveness, forgiveness, and it seems more like this. You know, be nice to your friends. It's just general.
Yes.
Nobody can sink their teeth into it, and there's nothing tactical. You don't understand how
Exactly.
to
Yes.
apply forgiveness. you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I so love what you're saying, that forgiveness it releases you from the anger.
Anger.
Now, the other person will benefit,
Yes.
but it's not for their benefit. And when I would be so angry at whoever or whatever, and people would be like, you've got to forgive, you got to forgive. That would make me more angry. It's like
Yes,
pouring
yes,
gas
yes,
on the
exactly.
fire. Like, stop
Yes.
saying that, you know?
That's why I said to my people, put yourself first in the center.
Yeah.
Be the center. Because when you say, okay, I will forgive him, it means you don't forgive yourself. You continue. You say that verbally for the people can hear, okay, I forgive him. But
you
in
don't
reality,
feel it.
yeah. And you go and say, I should do this. The anger is there building,
Yes, yeah.
and you have a problem.
Yeah. Forgiveness through massive effort doesn't really work. Like, that's not something you can just go learn how to bench press forgiveness.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
an interesting turn in
Yourself.
inward. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I do want to be mindful of your time. I mean, it's so powerful, because I know anger is, and honestly, I mean, let's be honest, in closing, we all just went through a pandemic. It's still happening around the world.
Yeah.
All-
Yes.
People are angry, and I don't think they can even figure out why they're angry. They're just feeling kind of attacked from all sides. you know?
Yes.
What you're doing now, I think, is more important than just about ever. You know,
Yes.
where you're doing it, how you're doing it. I just so respect your mission and what you're doing and the directness of it. I really do.
Okay.
Cannot thank you enough for coming in.
Thank
for that.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wapayeye. This
Thank
has
you.
been a wonderful time
Thank
together.
you. Yeah.
And I know you've helped a lot of people who are listening.
Yes. Thank you so
Not
much.
me.
No.
No, it didn't help me at all. I have no anger problems.
Oh
I
my
have no
God,
forgiveness
Steve.
issues.
Yeah.
I wish we had a video on this one. The two of these
Yes.
guys were just going
Ruby's
at it.
eye locked.
That's what I'm saying. There's this
Yeah.
intense
Fantastic.
counseling.
Yeah.
You owe him some money.
Yeah,
Amy.
why pay?
Yes.
That's his name, man.
Yes.
Why
This
pay?
is my name. Why pay?
Well, normally we ask if somebody wants to, say a website or anything like that, but I know that you work through MetroCare, and Patty, did you have any other questions? I kind of just took that whole last half. You knew it was going to happen.
I did know it was going to happen, so I was kind of prepared.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
good. We're good. Very happy that you could join us today.
Okay.
Is there any wrap-up that you would like to do on this curriculum? Because you kind of walked through the coping and the forgiving. Is that the last step that you have for the individuals there?
But from my experience, I always say you put yourself in the center.
Yes.
Yes, for everything. If you said, for instance, loving, you said, I love my kids, I love the next house, people that live there, for me, I don't believe that. I believe that I have to love myself first, for that I can share my love with other people. Love, I give them example like money. If I have $10 in my pocket, I can share $1, $2, stay with $8 in my pocket. Love is first for myself, and from learning love, I practice love myself, I can share with other people.
And that is a great way to end
Yeah, that's fantastic.
this show.
Well, listeners, this was awesome. We definitely kept you here longer than we said.
We did?
Yeah, we're over an hour, man. That's great.
It goes fast.
So we've made you late.
Yes, that's good.
But listeners, make sure you check out this podcast, of course, any other podcast at channelsofhealth.com.